OPEC has long championed a balanced perspective, where no option is disregarded and all energy sources are embraced. The recent shifts in energy markets raise the question, are global oil dynamics undergoing a permanent transformation? OPEC's latest decision has shaken America's energy approach, disrupting its strategic plans. For a period, the United States appeared to have the situation under control. However, OPEC's latest production adjustments have triggered fresh turmoil in the global oil sector, leaving many to speculate whether America's dominance in the oil industry is at risk.
And I'm also going to ask Saudi Arabia and OPEC to bring down the cost of oil. You got to bring it down, which frankly, I'm surprised they didn't do before the election.
Some call it a historic turning point, while others see it as a routine supply and demand fluctuation. What is truly occurring? Is the USA oil sector genuinely in decline, or are these concerns overblown? Shifting oil prices have the potential to destabilize economies and fuel an international debate on whether we are experiencing a monumental transformation in the global energy landscape. Just when analysts were forecasting that the American shale oil boom would secure the nation's position as the top energy exporter, OPEC's fresh approach seems to challenge that notion.
We always opted for making sure that we are attentive. And to be attentive, you have to be assertive and preemptive, and certainly ahead of the curve, which means you have to be proactive.
Recently, influential players like Saudi Arabia and Russia have demonstrated their willingness to manipulate oil supply in alignment with their interests. Is the American oil sector on the brink of collapse, as some claim, or is this merely another instance of market fluctuations which are known for their cyclical nature? The rise of electric vehicles, the expansion of renewable energy, and the implementation of climate policies are additional factors pressuring fossil fuel companies to evolve or risk becoming obsolete. If you are finding this analysis insightful, make sure to subscribe and turn on notifications so you never miss an update. Your support helps us bring more in-depth discussions on global energy shifts. Meanwhile, the Trump administration faces the tough challenge of maintaining national energy independence while responding to an increasing global demand for cleaner alternatives. OPEC's actions have intensified concerns regarding energy security, oil revenues, and the geopolitical power struggle for market control. Welcome to our channel. If you want the truth behind these explosive claims, do not forget to subscribe, activate notifications, and like this video. Now let us examine whether these production cuts and energy shifts truly mark the end of USA oil dominance, or if we are simply witnessing a new chapter in this ongoing saga. OPEC recently took steps to drive up global oil prices by reducing production quotas. However, on March 3, 2025, OPEC Plus opted to boost daily oil output by 138,000 barrels for April. This is particularly significant, as it marks the first increase since 2022.
Stability to the energy markets.
At a price.
Everything has a price. Energy security has a price as well.
Major producers like Saudi Arabia argue for limiting production to push prices higher and secure their revenues. Since early 2025, Brent crude prices have dropped by $1.83 per barrel, or 2.45%. The USA, on the other hand, has reaffirmed its pursuit of energy self-sufficiency by ramping up shale production. In December 2024, American crude oil output hit an all-time high of 13.49 million barrels per day. If you are enjoying this breakdown, let us know by hitting the like button and leaving a comment below. Do you think OPEC's strategy will succeed, or will the USA adapt and maintain its dominance? Can OPEC corner the USA in this competition with a bold move? By 2025, global electric vehicle sales are projected to rise by 18%, exceeding 20 million units. This shift could influence oil demand, reducing dependence on fossil fuels. Some analysts argue that OPEC Plus production cuts, particularly those led by Saudi Arabia and Russia, are placing USA oil producers in a challenging position. While higher prices may initially benefit USA shale oil, the volatility of the market and geopolitical concerns might push major consumers toward alternative sources. The USA has reached peak refining capacity, but what happens if demand declines or global trade routes shrink? Ultimately, OPEC's cuts and the rise of electric vehicles are reshaping the global oil industry. While these changes affect the USA oil sector, it still has room for adaptation through innovation and policy shifts. The role of fossil fuels in the energy market may decrease as renewable sources gain traction, but the pace of this transformation depends on multiple variables. America's oil industry faces mounting pressure from environmental policies and the renewable energy transition. The Biden administration stresses the urgency of cutting carbon emissions, whereas OPEC asserts that fossil fuels will dominate for decades. So which side is right? Only time will tell whether emerging technologies like electric vehicles, solar energy and hydrogen will truly replace oil, or if these predictions remain premature. Some analysts believe OPEC intends to weaken America's ambition to lead the global oil market. The USA shale oil revolution turned the country into a key exporter, challenging OPEC's pricing dominance. Now OPEC Plus has reinforced its stance by curbing output as a means of controlling prices. However, if prices climb too high, a global economic downturn could ensue, lowering demand and reducing revenue. OPEC must carefully navigate these market forces. Back in the USA, some experts warn that the oil industry is facing financial strain due to rising research and development and investment costs, shrinking profits, and increasing difficulty in securing funding, partially due to environmental, social, and governance criteria. Some banks have reduced lending to fossil fuel ventures, adding pressure on the Biden administration's climate policies. Critics argue that USA shale oil is becoming unviable, while others counter that technological advancements will enable cost-cutting measures. What is your perspective? The geopolitical implications of OPEC's maneuver are also significant. Saudi Arabia and Russia may see rising oil prices as a way to drive up USA inflation and heighten the risk of recession, thereby weakening Washington's global influence. Saudi-USA relations have cooled, with Crown Prince Salman emphasizing that his country prioritizes its own interests over USA pressure. Meanwhile, Russia remains at odds with the West due to the Ukraine conflict. What do you think? Is OPEC deliberately targeting the USA economy, or is it simply aiming to maximize profits? Do you believe the USA oil sector is nearing collapse, or is this an overstatement? Share your thoughts below. If you subscribe and enable notifications, you will stay informed about the latest energy developments. In our next edition, we will explore whether green energy can truly replace oil and analyze OPEC's long-term strategy. For now, goodbye, and remember, energy markets can shift overnight, and a single decision can trigger seismic changes. See you soon.